Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another inspiring episode of Amazing You podcast and YouTube channel, a space where stories of resilience, transformation, and hope come alive. Here we share powerful journeys that remind us that even in challenging moments, there is always a path forward. I would like to say a huge thank you to the audience who has been sharing, watching, and subscribing, and for being so faithful to the podcast for the past 5 years. And if you are new today, welcome to the channel, and please share, subscribe, and continue to watch. Your presence is very important to help to raise the algorithm. So thank you so much. I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a clinical hypnotherapist, Mars Venus life and relationship coach, astrologer, tarot reader, a life force compassion practitioner, past life regression practitioner, and energy practitioner. And today, I am very excited to welcome Saige Whitney. She is my very special guest, and I've been looking forward to talking to her after Easter. So we've told each other we'll catch up after Easter, and here she is. So huge thank you to her. So Saige is a podcast host, speaker, and advocate for emotional empowerment and boundary setting through her podcast called Lights Out Narcissistic Podcast. She shares powerful lessons drawn from her personal experience with narcissistic relationships, as well as life challenges. Saige is passionate about helping others recognize red flags, understand healthy boundaries, and redefine what true consent and self-love look like in relationships. Her journey of healing has deepened her faith and taught her the importance of protecting one's energy and no longer self-sacrificing for love. Today, she is committed to empowering others, especially empathetic individuals, to reclaim their voice, say no with confidence, and teach others how to treat themselves. Very warm welcome, Saige, to Amazing You.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. And like you said, I've been looking forward to this. And just seeing you, it's been on my calendar, and just talking with you again since we talked last. So very excited.
Thank you. And reading your bio, it is mind-blowing. And when I talk to you, I was really impressed by your journey. So would you tell us briefly about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. So my story begins, I'm an empath, and empaths generally do attract wounded people or narcissistic people. So I have looked back at my life and realized that 50% of my friendships were narcissistic individuals. And that was a game changer for me. But I didn't realize this until after this journey, and her name in my podcast is Asia. So I will be referring her as Asia. I was working in a skilled nursing facility, and that is for people in other places. I'm located in the US. That is a place where after you get surgery, you can go there to recover, you receive physical therapy. We have a lot of people that have strokes, and they go there to receive physical and occupational therapy, just learning how to work their body again and live. And then also there are elderly people that need assistance, that is their home, and they will live there the rest of their life. So that is a good summation of what a skilled nursing facility is. So I was the assistant activity director, and she was a patient. And she was about 22. I was 24 at the time. We were friends. She had lupus. She claimed she had a lot of other things, which, as I will get into, she didn't. But we had been friends, and within us hanging out for about 2 weeks, she texted me and asked me to marry her. And me being not very mentally well at the time and feeling chosen, feeling like I will never find love again, I told her yes over this text. But I didn't even get the chance to tell her what I wanted that to look like. I was in a position of power, and like, I wasn't taking care of her, so it wasn't illegal, but it looks unprofessional. So that day I was going to talk to her and tell her, hey, I would like to keep this within the bounds of friendship. And when you leave the facility, because you're young, whatever you're recovering from, when you leave, we can start a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Like, to keep these bounds of professionalism. That did not happen. She immediately told everyone, which, looking back, was emotional blackmail. Because I didn't even get the chance to tell people what I wanted that to look like, to tell her that this is what I wanted to happen. So immediately, like, I get pulled into HR, this human resources office, and I explained to them, hey, like, she told me over a text she's dying. She wants someone to marry her. She has 6 months to live. I really want to do this. And they were understanding. And I found this out later, they had so many issues with her. She had asked multiple male nurses to have sex with her. She had harassed many CNAs. She had asked other CNAs to marry her, which I didn't fully know about. One person did step aside and tell me, like, hey, she had asked another person to marry her, just so you know. And he told me some other disturbing things. And I remember pulling her aside, and she answered the question so normally that I just was like, okay, well, I guess this is okay. But I did tell her, hey, it wasn't okay for you to immediately tell everybody, this is my job, this is my source of income, and that looks unprofessional. And what she said next was so hard for me, because she would use this against me throughout a relationship. But she said, I'm sorry, I didn't know I'm autistic. And that phrase, I have so much love for the autistic community. I worked with autistic kids. She would use that phrase throughout our relationship to be mean. And with autistic kids that I've worked with, if you tell them, hey, that's mean, they stop it, right? But she would do something mean and then say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm autistic. So it was an excuse. She used it as an excuse to get away with certain evil or mean intent, I guess you could say. So that was hard for me, because I was just like, well, I can't really, like, mental health is a huge thing. I respect everyone with disabilities, stuff like that. So that was something we kind of just moved on from. So human resources ended up putting me on a paid leave, and then they ended up kicking her out of the facility. And from there, they said she was healthy, right? She had lupus, but you can live with lupus. It's still not fun. It's still a autoimmune illness. but they didn't really fully understand why she was there either. So from there, she would hit her head on purpose. She would make up excuses of needing to go to the hospital. She would intentionally not drink water for like 24 hours. So I would take her to the hospital and they would say, "You're really dehydrated." And I talk about this in my podcast. It wouldn't be until a year later that I realized she was an opioid addict. That is why she was doing this kind of behavior, was for me to take her into the ER. She also told me she was asexual, which is really funny. I hate sex. I never want to have sex again. It's so gross. Meanwhile, during our relationship, she's asking people to have males to have sex with her. And then I had talked to a CNA a year later that had worked with her. We ended up working in the same facility, and this CNA had told me that she had walked in on Asia having sex with a random man she met on Tinder while her and I were together. So, it's a great backstory, and I talk about a lot about this in my podcast and stuff like that, but there was a lot of lies and manipulation going on from square one.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, what a journey you've been. And it's not easy to when someone is in a relationship with a narcissist. As empath, it's very confusing, And how do you define an empath for the audience who is not familiar with this term? How would you define an empath?
Yeah, it's a great question. An empath is someone who can feel what other people feel. If someone's sad, they're sad. I do believe there's different levels of empaths, but there's the higher, stronger empaths where if someone has a stomach ache, you get that stomach ache. So that's why I like to talk to empaths about potentially setting boundaries. If you take on other people's emotions, every day before you go out in the world, I'm setting an energetic bubble around me not to take on someone's feelings or illnesses. And I specifically talk with empaths. If you touch someone with your left hand, you have the ability to take away their pain.
Yeah.
So when you do, that pain will go into your body unless you are releasing it. So you touch that person, you need to, through your mind's eye, imagine that energy traveling and leaving out your elbow.
Yes.
Or washing your hands with cold water to release, and you can take away physical pain or emotional pain. So no wonder narcissists want to be around empaths. They have grown up with a very traumatic childhood. They didn't receive love they were supposed to, which is very sad. And unfortunately, they're going into survival mode, and they're looking for any kind of relief. And so, of course, they're going to go to someone who can take away their pain. But the problem with that is that they just suck it dry. They don't give it back. They don't give you back that love you're giving them. So you are their, this is something I've said, I was her divine energy pump. She was just pumping out this precious life force out of me. And I will always have sympathy for narcissists and people that even realize they have narcissistic tendencies, because I see where they've come from. But I couldn't have empathy for her because she knew she needed therapy and to receive help. And she would just say, well, I'm dying in 6 months, so I can't. And that was a lie. So it was like, I can't be your therapist. You need professional help. that I can't give you. And she would just say, oh, I'm dying in 6 months. And so it just felt like it just being robbed of my time, my energy, my life force. And then this person, didn't give it back. It wasn't reciprocated, the love and the caring and stuff.
Yeah. And you know, Sage, what you just shared is so important because I have met so many empaths, and that is true that they tend to attract a lot of narcissists around them. I have as well, and it's like as empath, we, like you said, we are very good at feeling, but we are very good at absorbing other people's energies. We are like sponges, you know? And
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to protect our energy and in order, but also to heal ourselves. Because if we don't heal those wounds, if the childhood wounds, because as empath and narcissists, they both have wounds. They both have childhood wounds, but
Yes.
the empath is a bit like has a lot more kindness and understanding and love, whereas the narcissist went the other side. They became very bitter, they became very sour, and but they also have those childhood wounds. And how do you think uh, what do you think some empathetic people, how can they recognize these patterns on narcissists earlier on before being caught into those relationships, and then it's so difficult to get out?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful question. And empath doesn't have boundaries.
Mm.
You will see this with all empaths around the world. I
Yes.
didn't, right? Because we think having boundaries is mean.
Mm-hmm.
Having boundaries is not mean. It's very respectful.
Yeah.
It's you're telling someone, this is how I love you so much. This is how I need you in my life.
Yeah.
I can't have you calling me at 2 a.m. I
Mm.
can't. And so it's a form of respect for you and for the other person. You're directly showing and telling someone, this is how I love you so much. This is how I want you in my life. And you're teaching that person how to treat you.
Mm.
You're teaching that person that you're not available at all times. You're not always accessible. And so then not just narcissists, but everyone around will gain a respect for you to realize, oh, her time is precious. Right? And so I tell these empaths through the process of setting boundaries, and I go through the process in episode 4 of my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Reclaiming Your Power. Because if you've never set boundaries before, it's extremely frightening to start
Yeah.
setting them.
Yes, it is. And because
It's
it's unfamiliar, you know, we are not used to setting boundaries. We are used to be the people pleaser.
absolutely. We're used to
Yes.
letting everyone call us at any time of the day,
Yes.
and we're there.
Mm.
So, but the damage that happens to you when
Yes.
you're always available, when you say yes and your body contracts in a no, but you say yes anyways because you don't want to hurt that person. The
Mm.
way I reframe it with these empaths is you're not living your truth.
Mm.
And so you're lying to the other person. And you end up with this resentment because they asked you, do you want to come to this event? You want to say no, but you say yes. And
Mm.
then you're mad at them that you have to come. And so that person's confused why you're mad because you could have said no, but we've been groomed our whole life to always say yes. And so it's confusing for other people. So when we start saying no, and I'd say in my podcast, how I had to start saying no was through looking in the mirror once a day and for like 50 times just saying no stop. I'm not okay with that. And just getting used to those words leaving my mouth, because they never have. Unless it was like, unfortunately, with empaths, what happens is we get pushed so far we end up exploding. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening. And if you set boundaries, there's not going to be an explosion. You're living your truth, and people don't have to guess where they stand with you. They already know. Because if you're there, you want to be there. And if you don't want to come to an event, you say no. So I talk about how to start setting boundaries, and with to the listeners, it's the best when you start with children and slowly telling a child, hey, I'm not okay with that. Thank you for respecting this boundary. Children normally will inappropriately touch you, and they don't always know what they're doing. So telling them, hey, that's a boundary. I cannot let you touch me there. Thank you for respecting that. And you're immediately teaching that child a boundary, and you're protecting yourself. So I talk in my podcast how to slowly work up to setting boundaries with adults and so on and so forth. So, it's so important.
It is super important. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing that technique to help people to start begin to change from from always saying yes to being able to say no. It's just a simple exercise, and mirror work is a very powerful exercise. So I think that's the best first step you can take to start to reclaim your power and to set your boundaries with learning to talk to yourself differently. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
with my ex, with Asia, I was always available. She'd call me at 2 in the morning. I need you. I'd go, even though I had work in the morning. I wouldn't do that now, unless it was an emergency for my mom or something, that's a little different. But her emergency was unfortunately getting opioids. She's like, I need you, and she would make up excuses. And most of the time I knew she was faking it, but it wasn't ever an emergency with her. She just was acting and needed someone to be there, because when someone's in the room with you and you're trying to get meds, you look a lot less like an opioid addict and more of someone in pain, because you have second person to vouch for you. So it's just, and we don't even get into the U.S. medical system that far, but they're putting people on these opioids, and they're not giving them a good plan of how to wane off of it. They're not assisting and checking up on, hey, are you waning off? Do you need like a psychologist? Or are you starting to get addicted? There's not enough check-ins when they put someone on these opioids. And I talk to doctors about this, and they just say it's not my problem. But I'm like, but you prescribed it. Yeah. So it is your problem. I see that a lot in the U.S. healthcare system, and it's very damning, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And, when people are in those narcissistic relationships, and for anybody who is listening and watching, and for who are in relationship but who don't know much about narcissistic relationships, what do you think, Saige, are some of the key red flags that they can start to look for in narcissistic behavior in their relationships? What can they start to be a bit more aware and pay attention to the other individuals? What are some of the red flags?
That's a great question. In the first episode of my podcast, I do touch on this, how to recognize red flags. I go over the red flags. Some of the red flags that I talk about are when you meet a female narcissist, unfortunately, They do. I would say all narcissists have very horrible, traumatic upbringings. Specifically with a female, what I've noticed is she'll immediately, when you meet her, just tell you a very traumatic experience, and you just said hi. And so, and she would do that with a lot of people. So, unfortunately, like, there's, say you meet a friend, right? And you get to know them, say it's the day of, you get to know them all night, and you guys kind of trauma bond. That's a little different. I would meet a female narcissist, and within seconds, it would be this super, she would tell me this super traumatic childhood experience.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that is emotional manipulation. They're
And they want to show, and they want to show that they are the victim.
Yes, yep, that's a huge thing with
Yes.
narcissists.
Yeah.
Victim, you know. And so I saw that a lot with my ex, is they're going to use every victim card possible. So I'm autistic. Once again, really makes me mad because I love the autistic community, but she would slander that name all back and forth. So yeah, it was, I'm autistic. There was some things about race that she would bring up too, which, once again, love everybody, love every color, but she would use that to try to get away with things. You know, her past, her you know, her childhood, stuff like that. And so what it does when people use those excuses when they did something wrong, is it silences the empath or the other person, and you feel like you can't really speak anymore.
Yeah.
And so that was really hard. There was a time when she had been, she had talked to her fiance, and she was talking with him, and she was telling him, I hate pretty people. If I see a pretty person, I stay away from them. And I looked at her and I said, do you not find me pretty? And her and I were engaged, mind you, even though I'm pretty sure she wasn't. I'm not here to label anyone, but it doesn't seem like she was gay. She told me she hated sex, but she's having sex with men. That sounds like a straight woman, if I'm being honest. She had no interest at all in women. I'm pretty sure she hated them because she hated her mom.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think she got a thrill of controlling a lesbian, which was me. Like, I can get away with lying to this girl, controlling her, and telling her I hate sex while I'm having sex with men. So, yeah, she would use that a lot. And so I asked her, do you not find me pretty? And she said, scientifically speaking, I guess your face is symmetrical.
Wow.
And the look I gave her was a nasty, nasty look, especially after me sleeping on the floor of the hospital once a week with her when I had work in the morning. You're going to call me ugly after everything I've done for you. You know, giving up so much, quitting a job at one point. I had a nervous breakdown because she wouldn't let me leave. And so we just see, and then of course, instead of her taking accountability for that really messed up thing she said, immediately she says, I'm going to kill myself. So once again, you know, so much love for anyone struggling with suicide ideation. This woman just did not want to take responsibility for the mess of things she said, so she used that. So it was just every card in the book, and it just got so exhausting. And so that's a big thing. Definitely victim, in any way, shape, or form. They're going to try to hold on to that. I think she tried to be a victim of being gay, but she wasn't. But she just wanted to have that victimhood there too. Um, then we see another thing is extreme codependency. Extreme. Cannot handle being alone.
Yeah.
Calling you all day. Where are you? And for a lot of men, it's so sad because a lot of men, and I talked to a lot of men about this, they go through their masculine journey feeling so alone, unseen. I had 2 men at one point in my life in 1 week tell me men don't get flowers and I will never be told I'm pretty. 2 separate men didn't even know each other. And so sad, broke my heart, especially for us as society not giving men a space to speak and to be sad and you know but unfortunately a lot of men feel so unseen that when a woman is starting to just I need you, I need you, I need you, where are
Yes.
you, where are you, they love it, and I don't blame them, but that's fuel for a female narcissist. Fuel. They cannot handle being alone. They need someone 24/7. And so I saw that with her all the time. Could not handle being alone for a second. A lot of
Yes.
so we see a lot of these red flags, and there's a few more in my podcasts, but that's just some of them I like to talk about for sure.
Thank you for sharing that, because these are really important red flags to pay attention from the very beginning, because they are very needy. They will call you all the time,
Yes.
to keep you. And it's very confusing because not everybody is used to being called, to being there, to having to be there constantly. It's very draining for the empath. Yeah.
Oh, it's exhausting.
Yes, yeah. They lie a lot. They are in several relationships at a time. They
Absolutely.
they love bomb. At the beginning, they tell you all sorts of compliments. You are beautiful and this and that. And then in the middle of the relationship, they turn it around and say, "Are you crazy? What's going on with you?" It's like
Yeah.
confusing you. Yeah, I know. It's a lot. So please watch Saige podcast. You will learn more. I think it's been really, really helpful for you to share some of these uh, key red flags, so that people can start to now be a bit more aware when you are in a relationship, and not just open your heart and dive in straight away, but take your time and get to know the people that you are going out with and who are in your life. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saige. That I'm sure is going to help really a lot of people listening, because as empath, we don't recognize those signs. We are so much into people pleasing. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's killing you. It's
Yes.
hurting you.
Yeah.
It's draining you. It's not we don't I didn't even realize how drained I was all the time until now I set boundaries and say no, narcissists don't want me anymore. I'm not available anymore.
Yes.
I'm not fuel. And so now I have all this energy, tons of energy, like working out twice a day, seeing
Yes.
friends, going out. I didn't have that energy before. It was drained. That was all sucked me dry, right?
Yes.
Not
That's what
anymore.
that's what they do. They are like vampires. They drain you of your energy, because that's what they feed on.
They don't have that. They've
They don't
rejected
have
the
it.
light.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
They've rejected the light, so they have to steal it.
yes, yeah. And for you, Sage, what was the biggest lesson you learned about self-worth and love on that journey?
Oh, wow. Um, After it all ended, I was able to get away from her. She took me hostage in a hospital. I had to quit my pizza manager job back home because she wouldn't let me leave. People say, "How did she not let you leave?" Are you still there?
Yes, I am still there.
Okay,
Yes, yeah.
perfect. My phone did something weird.
Okay.
I would try to leave, and
Mm,
she would say, "If you leave, I'm gonna die.
right.
I'm gonna die. You just left to go home 7 hours away from here. We went on a vacation, and you just left a dying girl. I'm gonna die all alone." And you see with female narcissists, well, any narcissist, they use these fear tactics. And she just milked out all the time. I'm dying, I'm dying. She wasn't dying to the listeners. She only had lupus and an iron deficiency. Um, there was no death. She told me she had cancer, kidney failure, all lies.
Mm,
Um, so after I finally got away, my mom ended up saving me. I couldn't even save myself from her. And I got home and just looked at my life in shambles, and I told God, I will
mm,
wait for the right person and heal and learn
mm,
all I need to, because I will never go through that again, ever.
mm.
And so slowly just realizing my worth, protecting my time, my space, my energy. And because of that, I know I will attract someone at that same caliber that protects their time, space, energy. And just healing through my podcast and everything, realizing that I feel like I'm finally at the vibration to attract real love and not just another broken person, and attracting a whole person that isn't needing me but is choosing me, doesn't need me to survive but likes and loves to have me there. And because I used to think love is self-sacrifice,
Mhm.
love is, it's horrible and you got to die for someone. No, that's not love. That's trauma bonding. Totally
Yeah.
different. That's a trauma bond. Real love is peace.
Mm,
And I will not settle for anyone until I find peace.
yeah.
And if I need to be alone the rest of my life, I'm fine with that. Totally fine
Absolutely.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and real love, it's about not only giving and giving, but receiving. It's an exchange. It's a balance. It's finding that balance first within ourselves as we heal, like how much work you've done on you. And when we find that balance within us, we are whole again. And then we
Mm-hmm.
can attract somebody who is whole, because if we are imbalance within ourselves, we give, and we can't receive, we will attract somebody who will take, and not give anything. So I think it starts with
Absolutely.
ourselves. It starts with ourselves, healing our wounds, loving ourselves, having our own boundaries, and then just be open to receiving what the universe will bring us. Yeah. And by
Oh yeah, and
starting
that's
to manifest what
that's
we want.
magnetic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's magnetic. When you're
Yes.
whole, healed, you're working on yourself, that's sexy. So
Yes.
I'm not worried about attracting someone because I know they'll come,
Mm,
because they recognize that energy signature. So I don't need to
absolutely.
worry. I don't need to
Yeah.
chase. I don't need to date.
No,
They will be drawn to that. That's
that's
how it
true.
works.
And that's the
Law of
feminine
attraction.
energy. The
Yeah.
feminine energy doesn't chase,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't run around looking and searching. They just stay in who they are, in their love and in their abundance, and they are open to receiving.
Yeah. And that's when you will find
Yeah.
that ultimate partner, because you realize your worth.
Yes.
You aren't lying to yourself. You aren't lying to other people.
Mm,
So, and you respect your time, space. And I love this. I got it from Abraham Hicks.
mm,
Um, that's another enlightenment guy. But he says, you're delicious to be around when you're in that energy, and you are. Because you're not looking for someone else to complete you. You validate yourself, and
mm.
God validates you. You're not looking for validation,
Yeah.
and that's all a narcissist is looking for.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all. So you're stepping out of that cheap energy to
Yeah.
real love and loving yourself, and it feels amazing.
It does. Yeah. Wow, Sage, what you've been sharing is so powerful. And my last few questions to you are, what message would you like to share with someone who is in a relationship with a narcissist and feels stuck and unable to speak up for themselves?
That's a great question. I was right where they were, just in that trench, in that dark hole. And I tell people the first thing you need to do is you need to get the truth out, because this darkness is happening because you haven't told anyone about it. So you need to
Mm,
go to one person that will not say you're stupid or dumb or just leave. That's the stupidest saying ever, just leave. Because you're emotionally and mentally under lock and key of this person. So just leave doesn't work. Um, so you need to go to someone that will fully receive you, say, how can I help you, and not make you feel stupid. And we all have that person somewhere out, whether it's a grandpa, grandma, anyone.
mm,
Tell them the truth of what's going on, and them being a safe person won't make you feel stupid. They'll say, how can I help? What can I do? Please, thank you for telling me the truth, but you have to get the truth out. The nitty gritty, ugly, all of it, and talk to someone. And as soon as, because then you feel less crazy,
mm.
because the narcissist starts making you feel crazy. You're the problem stage, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
So if you can just talk to one person, tell them the truth, you can start on your action plan. And I tell people who are in this situation, get angry. When you're angry, that ignites movement, change. Use that sacred anger. Realize how much time this person has stolen from you, how much energy they have stolen from you. It's theft. Years of their life, of your life, they've probably knocked off from stress, gaslighting, just survival mode they put you in. They've stolen so much from you. It's time to get angry about that. And once you get angry, and once you can talk to someone, that helps the steps of moving out, if possible. But those are the two things I like to tell the listeners. And once again, I was right where you were. What helped me was getting angry at the messed up things she said. And as soon as you get out, I blocked her on everything. Everything. There was no more contact because they're going to try to reel you back in, send you gifts, blah, blah, blah. No. All lies. They're not sending that gift with a pure intent of heart. They just want your energy back. They want to start stealing it again. So, um, yeah, talk to someone you know, get angry as soon as you're out, block on all forms for good.
Yeah. That's so, so, so true. Because they only want relationships with benefits. That's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Sage, thank you so much for sharing those powerful words today. And my two last question is, where can our listeners and viewers find out more about your work and possibly connect with you?
Absolutely. So, I'm on everything: iHeart, Spotify, Apple, um, Deezer, Amazon Music. So I'm on all platforms. A Lights Out Narcissistic Podcast is. And then if you ever want to reach out, I am on Instagram. It's just Saige, Saige _W. I am in the future looking for people to interview about how they've been able to get out of narcissistic relationships and heal. So I would love that. Please connect with me. That would be amazing for sure.
Thank you so much and your links will appear below, and it will also appear in the
Yes.
description of the podcast and of the YouTube channel, so anybody can reach out to Sage. And Sage, any final thoughts or messages you would like to share with the audience today?
Yeah, I just tell people you can still have a beautiful, wonderful life. after getting out of this abuse. It's still so possible for you, and escaping is possible. And you know, just when you get out of that, just the way you feel, it's you're just so free. And so sending love to anyone that's still in that situation. I've been there. I know where you're at. I know how scary it is to leave. She would tell me all the time, I have nobody. There's all this emotional manipulation and stuff. If someone's abusing you and you need to abandon them, abandon them. They're, don't let them use that against you of, oh, I'm alone, blah, blah, blah. No, just leave. And not just leave, but realize that you matter too. Your emotions matter too. Your sanity matters. Your life matters. And it's not your job to fix their crappy life. It's theirs. So if they're alone, there's probably a reason for it. They've probably abused all their friends and family members, and that's on them. Save yourself. It's worth it. I promise.
Thank you so much, Saige. I am very, very grateful, very honored to have met you, and for you taking your time to talk to the audience, because this is such a powerful topic that we need to talk more about, that we need to be more aware, because I know a lot of people going through those challenging relationships, whether it's a parent, because very often it is a parent who is a narcissist.
Absolutely.
And others find it in relationships, or whether in a partner or in a boss or in a colleague. So it takes different forms. So just put yourself first and know that you can get out of this. And I would like to say a huge thank you to you. And I wish you a lot of success with your podcast and with all your future endeavors. Please stay in touch. Come back again. And to the audience, I would like to tell you all, thank you for listening, sharing, and watching. And remember that you are amazing. You have always been amazing. And you always will be amazing. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Rani.
You are very welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.